Josh, thanks for joining us. A big treat to have you along. Just wanted to get to know you a little bit more. So before we get started, obviously this moves really fast. Like, it's a bit of a whirlwind, I'm sure. I mean, has it sunk in yet? Do you feel like you're the manager of Darlington Football Club? Have your feet hit the ground? How's it feeling?
No, to be honest, it hasn't sunk in. It's been a bit of a whirlwind. Obviously, the job became available, and I applied for it like I'm sure loads of others did, and obviously went through the process. And I think when you've been out, I obviously left Hereford for the back end of last season, so it's been a while. Obviously, we've had the summer, so it's been nice to spend time with the family and stuff. But obviously, I just want to get back out on the grass and get my teeth into something. So it's just yesterday was. I come down to the club really early, and we did press, and I met some of the some lovely people at the football club, and then obviously I got a chance to sit in the changing room and have a look at about 19 nervous faces staring back at me. So yeah, it was good.
And when you're thinking about it, and you're talking about your time off during the summer, what are the sort of things? There's one thing with football, lots of jobs come up at different times, but what's the sort of criteria for a club and a job to apply for? What's the things that catch your interest, that make you think, right, that's a job I want to go for?
Yeah, I think the big thing for me, obviously, leaving Hereford, I want to grow a football club. I think that's the big thing. Someone that matches my ambition, that I can get my kind of teeth into, not just the managing side of things, but anything they need me to do. If it's community staff, just help out commercially, whatever it is. I just, for me, when I'm at a football club, I'm invested at a football club, and I want to give my all. So, but yeah, I think for me, the next move was really important for me. I've been obviously at a club for 4 seasons. I would say the ambition wasn't matched. I would say that. So it became frustrating at times. So I turned down some jobs in the summer because I just didn't feel it was a right fit for me. But I think when I came in here and interviewed and sat with the board and understood the vision of the football club, and you meet the people and how honest they are, and how they want the club to be successful, and obviously knowing as a manager and a player, because I've played away at Darlington, and I know how tough it's been, and you can see how passionate the fans are. So for me, it was absolute no-brainer. I wanted this job, more than anything else. So when I got it, I was absolutely buzzing. Me and my missus were jumping around in the kitchen actually when we found out.
Brilliant. No, glad to hear. And I think as a club that tries to pride itself on being based in the community like that, with all the different strands of the football club, that's going to be music to everybody's ears. And you've got experience of that, of course, from your previous role at Hereford. I know you were involved in all sorts of things off the field there as well. So one of the questions I actually had was, as a young manager, as you still are, and even younger when you got the job at Hereford, what are the things that you would take out of that experience? So what went well at Hereford that you would look to replicate, and what are the things, are there any things that you would look, oh, if I had my time again, I'd take that piece into the next role? Yeah,
I mean, for me, the last, obviously, because of the summer, it's been about 5 months, is it? 5-6 months. So it's been amazing for me just to kind of come away from it, because I think managing is all encompassing. It's 100 miles an hour. You don't get a chance to really just sit back and reflect on your time. So for me, over the last 5-6 months, I've had a look at the way I manage, the way we speak to the players, the way, our tactic side of things, our coaching, the things that, if the build-up play wasn't right, why wasn't it right? What can we do better? When we look at the data side of things, so if we weren't progressing the ball in certain areas, why was that? And really going into really details about that stuff. Like, I guess I find it hard to look at the good stuff because I just want to improve, if that makes sense. So everything seems bad because I just want to improve everything. So but no, it's been really good for me, and I'm in such a better place as a coach, as a manager, than what I was when I was in the last job. So, some of the good things I take away was the relationships we built there in the community. I still speak to some of the community people there now. I still speak to a lot of the fans. Obviously, during COVID, we had a lot of fans there that were very distressed. I still speak to them now. I still counsel some of them now to make sure they're okay when they feel a bit anxious and a bit low. So, that aspect, I feel like I left something that I'm proud of, to be honest. The bad stuff is just, hey, we had a lot of injuries when I left, so that didn't help, I think, when I left at the end. But yeah, for me, it was a fantastic experience for me. Obviously, it's my first managing job. I was there. The average lifespan of a manager is 12 months. So the fact I was there in the first season was short, but 4 seasons altogether is something that I'm really proud of. So, but yeah, I'm going to bring a lot more experience in, coming into a football club where we are in the league, and obviously being in Hereford, I took over when we were not in a great position ourselves. So, the first thing for us is, we want to build an identity, we want to play good football, but we need to get results on the board first and foremost to make sure we can then start, climb up the table and playing some attractive stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I read some of your pieces that you did in The Guardian last summer or the summer before, whenever it was. I know the data analysis is a big part of your toolkit. Would you expect to bring some of that, all of that, a bit of that with you as well?
Yeah, so I'm speaking to the board at the moment, so we're going to look at bringing my analyst over. I think that's important. He's a bit like my right-hand man, I suppose. He's like me around me. His missus probably doesn't like me too much because he's on the phone to me 24/7. But he's going to come over. Look, it's important that we go into games with game plans. It's important that the lads understand what they're playing against, so that when we get there on a Saturday, it's not like we thought they were playing 4-3-3 and all of a sudden they're playing 3-5-2 and no one knows. So it's really important that the lads know exactly what they're facing. And also it helps with recruitment. I think it's really important that we always progress the football club and the team. So, looking at areas of the team we can improve helps with data. Now, the reason for it is, as a manager, you can see a player and like them. As fans, we can see players and go, oh, he's amazing. But the reality is there's 40 games in a season. So just because you've seen him play well once doesn't mean he's played well the other 39 games. So it's really important that if our eye is correct, that we just back that up with a bit of data so we can understand that actually he has got that consistency. And with a club, with the budget that we have, it's really important that we get those signings right because, we don't want to waste any of the fans' money. So it's important that all round we look at every single base when it comes to recruiting so that we make the best decisions.
Absolutely, and of course at this level you're only restricted to a couple of training sessions a week. I know typically it's Tuesday and a Thursday at Darlington. I don't know whether you'll keep that the same way or whatever, but if I put myself in your shoes now, you've kind of got so many ideas, and I know you've watched the games back and you'll have so much to do, but what in that couple of days a week, what's the sort of main things or the priorities or the key things that you would like to try and get over to the players, or you are trying to get over to the players this week in the limited contact time that you've got with them?
Yeah, so we looked at, I won't tell you what the areas are just in case someone's looking at we're playing on Saturday, but we just looked at we just really looked at 3 areas of the team that was not functioning how it should be. What I did do is we had a really good conversation last night with the players, because it's important that we have a shared community in regards to the club. It's not me just dictating everything to the players. So it's important that they buy into what we're doing. So they have to have an input in the game plan. So we just sat down and had a bit of an honest conversation about where we are, about, what's gone wrong, why it's gone wrong, and the players agreed. So then, then we get to work and put a game plan in place to put those things right. So, obviously transitions, possessions, giving the ball away, working hard, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, training was around that. We just want to put some structure in and around the team, in possession, out of possession, because what I would say about this team is there's some really, really good pros in this team. There's a high average age, which means there's a lot of IQ in the team. So I think with a bit of structure around it, we can really do something this season. So it's important that they get that base first and foremost, and we build that confidence. We put our arm around a couple of people, give them a bit of a cuddle if they need it. Others might need a bit of a rocket, so they'll get that from me as well. So we'll treat each player individually, for what they need, and it's my job now to really get to know those players quickly. Look, I'd love to be in full time every day because we've got some really good ideas and ways of playing. And if you're in every day, you can drill it as we are. But we just got to be really economical with our time and really just focus on the things, 1, that are going to get us results, and 2, that are going to get us playing attractive football that the fans can be proud of.
Yeah, and early in the season, but there's bags of quality in the squad as well, isn't there? There's plenty to work with. That's how it seems to me and how it seems to the fans as well. So there's some great quality players in there as well.
Yeah, I think we're not in a false position because we've lost the games we've lost. But there's a really good squad. I've tried to sign a few of the players over the years, so I know some of the players intimately. So for me, the quality is there. So, if we can add a bit to it, add a bit of structure around it, we'll have a look. I think we could add a bit more youth in the side, if I'm going to be honest. And if we can do that, then I think we'll go from strength to strength.
Yeah, great. Sounds amazing. Couple of final questions. One of which I was just curious. I always think this with managers, whether there's somebody in coaching or a manager that you look up to, not necessarily on style, maybe on style on the pitch, but just someone who you think's somebody that you'd like to kind of sort of replicate or follow. Is there anybody like that you look up to?
Yeah, I mean, I've dotted around a bit in my playing career, so I've had quite a few managers. But I think that the one that was the biggest impact on me as a coach and the way I do things was Sean O'Driscoll. So Sean was probably the first manager I had at Bournemouth that was so detailed. We did all the analysis, we did shape, possession, everything you can think of, we did. And he left no stone unturned. He was clear in his principles and what he believed in. And unfortunately, I didn't have that too much in my career with managers. A lot of it was just, signing the best players and go and play. So, but with Sean, we always had a clear understanding, a clear philosophy and a way of playing. And he was probably the biggest one. And then I had people like Paul Hurst at Grimsby, where we got promoted with Paul. And he was all about energy, work rate, desire, commitment. So, and then all of a sudden you build the two together in a kind of, you amalgamate the two, and it's a really good kind of bedding for you. So yeah, and I've had some bad ones as well, to be honest, and I've took a lot from them, because there's things that I thought I would do, and then obviously having that experience made me think maybe not. So yeah, so there's about 3 or 4 that I've really taken a lot from, good and bad.
Yeah, very good. No, that's great to hear. Just wrapping it up a little bit. So you said earlier, and it's right, we are where we are in the league, but then again, it's only September. So I just wondered, as you come in, what you think's still possible in this season. What do you think where do you think we can reach if everything goes to plan? Bearing in mind we're right down the bottom at the moment, but there's so much time ahead left still in the season.
Well, I think if you look at the season I had at Hereford, I think it was 2 seasons ago. The first 10 games we didn't win, and we were second from bottom. The next 10 were in the playoffs. So, the league is the league's a bit erratic. It's been a bit erratic for the last few years, if not longer. So, look, we've got a good squad, and what we want to do is keep improving and do better than we did the season before. So, and that's what I'll be striving for. I'll be striving to be better than what the team did last season, and I think, and the lads want that. So the lads know, obviously we had a bit of a drop off from Christmas. Unfortunately, we did, from obviously that position we were to drop off, and unfortunately we dropped out of the playoffs. But so we'll just be looking to improve on last season, and hopefully we can do that. Yes, it's not been a great start, but was there 32 games left or whatever there is, so there's plenty of football to play.
Yeah, great stuff. And first up, Saturday, Gloucester at home. Saturday, you'll be in the dugout, 1 minute to 3, looking at what do you think will be going through your mind then? 3 o'clock, back in the game, back in the job. You'll have the tin shed there, giving you a big warm welcome, I'm sure. How will that feel?
Yeah, I'll be. I mean, some of the fans have been absolutely fantastic already. So I'm going to be proud, to be honest. Just walk out there and see the fans buzzing and football being played, and just. I think when you're out of it, you take it for granted sometimes. But being able to stand on the touchline and when that whistle blows, and probably be screaming and shouting after the game, I should imagine, it's something that I'll definitely miss. So I just can't wait for it, and I want it for the lads, because they're a really good bunch. Walking in that changing room yesterday, having a chat with them, and they're really a really honest bunch, and they deserve success this season. So. I think the biggest thing for me, I don't really think about myself too much. I think it's for the boys to really kick on and get that confidence back, and get that swagger back about them, and start, really rolling over teams. Darlow, historically in this league, has always been a tough game. Always. So, we want to get that back, and we want to get that respect back, for our name in the league. And that's what we're going to be looking to do over the next few months, for sure.
Brilliant. Fantastic, Josh. Just let me say big thanks. I know you've got a lot on this week. I think the chairman's rang twice since we've been talking, I think you said. So big thanks. Big thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. We can't wait to watch your team, and wish you a long and successful stint at Darlington Football Club.
Cheers. Thank you.